Greetings, my Jurassic Park enjoyers. It's me, 24 going on 70. How are we all doing this fine evening? Wait, Taco, what do you got in your hand there? What are you holding? Are you a detective now? Are you gonna solve a mystery? Listen, I'm not figuring out any mysteries anytime soon, okay? I still haven't figured out the mystery of why my father was never there for me. No, this here magnifying glass or whatever the heck it's called, I don't know. I didn't do research. You guys already know that. It's for examining. That's right. Pull down your pants. Hold on. It's for examining these creatures down here. That's right. I know it kind of looks like the contents of a septic tank became sentient, but it's actually something called a mite. Listen, I think there's like a story and there's like a lore. It was actually really cute. I would implore you to go read the mod page, even if you don't plan on downloading the mod. It was cute. The mod creator like set out this whole like lore thing, and I'm just gonna totally disregard it. But Taco, you haven't even got it. What do these guys do? Why do I care about these little critters here? Well, these little guys can help you out in a multitude of ways. Actually, like only 5. Okay, listen, there might be more. I tried. Okay, listen, sorry. I'm not explaining. So these guys have a really cool feature where if you feed them something, they'll be like, hey, that's a thing that I really like now. I'm going to produce that forever. Basically, you form a contract with these creatures, okay? You tell it what block you want it to create, and then you feed them honey for the rest of their lives. And in exchange, they'll just keep making the item that you gave them. Taco, it's turning nighttime. Fix that. Okay, sorry. Anyways, what was I saying? Now, a lot of you might be thinking, wait, Taco, that's pretty overpowered. But you would be wrong. You would be a fool. You would be getting ahead of yourself. How dare you do that? Be ashamed. Because you can't just give it any item, okay? There's only a select list of items that you can give it, and none of them are that glamorous. One of them I think is really cool, but the other ones are kind of meh. Wow, Taco, this is more work and effort than you put into most videos. You're right, it is, and I spent so long just sitting here spamming blocks on these stupid creatures trying to feed them a myriad of different things, and these were the only things that took. Now listen, did I go through every single item in the game? No, that would have taken so much time, but I kind of caught on to a trend. These seemed like the only things that you were able to feed them. And guess what? Come here a little closer. I might be missing something. I might not have it 100%. There might be more things. But listen, I tried most of the basic blocks. Okay. And this seemed to be what you could feed them. I'm hoping you could feed them more stuff in the future. Like for example, I wish you could feed them all of the different types of stone and they would give you the different types of stone. But yeah, unless I've terribly messed up the recording, you should be able to hear them kind of plopping out items behind me. And you can also kind of see it. They'll eat the honey real quick. And then shortly after they eat the honey, they'll go bloop, and then they'll plop out some of the items. As you can see, they are all assigned to different items, and I'll show you right now how you do this. But Taco, what about the mag? Listen, you're getting ahead of yourself, okay? That's later in the video. So I've spawned a mite inside of here real quick, and we're just gonna give it a random item. Let's give it clay, because I think clay is probably the most useful thing that you'd ever be able to feed this. So I feed it once, feed it twice, feed it 3 times, feed it 4 times. Sometimes it takes it on its first try, and sometimes it takes a couple tries, but eventually the tail will change color, and it'll be linked to a specific block. Can you unlink them from a block? To my understanding, no. Once they are linked to a block, they will forever be linked to that block or item or whatever the heck. Then they'll just kind of chill here, and as long as they have a honey block around, they will keep eating from the honey block, and then they'll just randomly plop out an item. Obviously, I don't have it set up because I'm incredibly lazy, but you can imagine a system like this where there's hoppers underneath, and they just kind of plop out the items into the hoppers. The hoppers go into a little system, and then you can have it all just kind of funneling into some chests. Oh yeah, one small piece of information I forgot to add is that these guys mostly spawn, I think only spawn actually in deserts. That's a nice little piece of information. It kind of just comes in, you know, at a random point. It would probably make a lot more sense if the video was structured in such a way where, you know, the information was fed to you in a understandable and formulaic way that just made sense. Don't worry, I'll be taking it up with the writing team. Yeah, that's right. These entire videos are written and scripted, don't you know? I got a whole entire writing team. Me, the guy who can barely get 1,000 views on a video. I got a whole entire writing team. And editing Taco, throw something random up. Well, that's pretty crazy. Editing Taco, thank you so much. Oh yeah, maybe I should just we should just go over each of these. So this one goes ahead and he's a snowy boy, and he'll just plop out some snowballs. Why he do that? I don't know. He just do that. And you have to feed him snow blocks in order for him to plop out the snowballs. Kind of similar to the clay. See, it would have made more sense if these two were right next to each other because, you know, they kind of like are in the same vein where you have to feed them the blocks and then they plop out the clay. And listen, but you know what? I think that these are all just kind of in order of discoverability. It was kind of like the journey of life, okay? I discovered how to use wooden tools, and then I discovered agriculture, and then I discovered pottery, and then I discovered stone tools. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'm making perfect sense right now. So yeah, feed him snow blocks, he gives you snowballs. You feed this guy logs, he gives you logs. I don't know why you would ever want, just chop down a tree, you lazy bones. Okay, we got ourselves some dirt here. I could see the dirt one being kind of useful depending on where you are. You know, you don't want to go mining a bunch of dirt. That's fine. Oh, but Taco, you can understand people not wanting to mine a bunch of dirt, but you can't understand people not wanting to chop down trees. That's right. I can't understand that. Deforestation is always fun. Oh yeah, so you feed this guy dirt, he gives you dirt. You feed this guy clay blocks, he gives you clay. And I think this is actually really useful, especially with all the new pottery archaeology stuff. I haven't looked into any of that stuff. I don't know how any of it works. Maybe it doesn't even use that stuff. I literally don't know anything. Don't ask me. And then this guy you feed, I think you have to actually feed him actual stone, and then he gives you cobblestone. Am I going to test that out again right now just to be sure? Absolutely not. Okay, this guy has plopped out quite a bit. Let's see how much he's actually plopped out in that time. Plopped out a whole 8 clays. So that's actually not too bad. Speaking of only plopping out 8 clays, okay, Taco, it's time. It's finally time. You're gonna tell me what the Mite Inspector does. That's right, this thing's called a Mite Inspector. And I definitely knew that and didn't just read it as I switched to it in my inventory. Guys, this is getting really annoying. Is there a way that I can just set the time of day and just like keep it there forever? Guys, can you guys let me know that in the comments so what does the Mite Inspector do? Well, you can imagine that what it does is it inspects mites. So we're gonna come in here real quick and we're gonna look at this boy and we're gonna say hi my son. He could be a little skittish and afraid, so you want to give him a kiss on the head first. You want to go, my son, please accept my gracious and humble gifts. I don't have any gifts to offer him. I'm lying to him to gain his trust. Well, I guess to be fair, I actually have this honey, and that's kind of a gift for him. Anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, we're gonna right click the mite with the Mite Inspector, and this little thing pops up. He says clay type. We know that because we just fed him the clay. He likes to eat and he's healthy and energetic. What does that mean? That's a fantastic question. Do I know the answer to it? Absolutely not. There's only one thing that I've noticed that actually makes sense. If they like to eat, or I think some of these actually have something even better, spends most of its time eating. I assume spends most of its time eating is the one that actually produces the most, but I could be wrong. I don't know anything. But yeah, I think the point is that that's the one that you kind of want to look out for, is the one that says spends most of its time eating, because the more that it eats, the more that it produces. I don't actually know what the frail and slow moving means. I mean, it probably just is in reference to how fast they move around and whatnot, and like how fast they can get between things. But if you kind of keep them penned up like this, I don't see the difference between something that spends most of its time eating and is frail, and then spends most of its time eating but likes to play but can be moody. I don't understand the difference between all that. It might just be a cute little thing. You never know. Maybe it actually does have some purpose and meaning. One thing I also forgot to mention, and maybe I'll have a clip to show you, I don't really know, but you can breed 2 mites together using honey, I think in a bottle. Maybe I'm wrong. You'll see right now on screen probably. And when you breed 2 mites together, it kind of just picks a random one between the 2 of them, and then the baby will have the aspect that one of the parents had. And obviously, if both parents have the same food preference, the baby will also have the same food preference. Taco, that's cool and all, but where's your secret hole? You didn't do a secret hole this episode? I missed the secret hole, Taco. Invite me into your secret hole. You know, every time I talk like this, I'm interpreting it as like the viewers are talking to me. You know, maybe like some made up viewers, maybe like you guys share none of the thoughts and opinions of those viewers that I'm making up in my head. But nonetheless, like that's the perspective I'm taking, is like, I'm like, oh, but Taco, like, you know, from the perspective of the viewers. But you know what? I just realized it kind of just looks like I'm talking to myself. And I think the crazy thing is, at the end of the day, that's kind of all that making a video is. But yeah, a secret hole right here, actually. Haha, you've been bamboozled. Oh wait, that wasn't supposed to be there. Hold on. You guys saw absolutely nothing. Don't worry about it. Okay, this is the crafting recipe for the Mite Inspector. Everything I saw specifies that you need brown glass. Curse Forge page says you need brown glass. And also when I go ahead and we go into the whatchamacallit, it also says brown stained glass. So we're just going to go out on a limb and assume that it requires brown stained glass as well, and then it requires a little diamond in the front, and then it requires some sticks. Pretty easy to make, all things considered. I guess the last thing I forgot to say is obviously it can say a couple different things. I don't know everything that it can say, but you probably want to stay away from things that say does not eat often, and kind of want to move more towards things like likes to eat or spends most of its time eating. And with that, I think the video is actually over. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos recently. I'm trying to actually be a productive member of society by not being a productive member of society and instead making silly internet videos. And I will continue to do so until I die, probably. But until then, there's only one other thing that keeps me alive on this earth, and that is you telling your mothers that I said hi.